Hey everyone, hope you're having a good day, and I just want to thank you so much for clicking on today's video as I am super excited to be making it. I will be reviewing the first episode of Hulu's new original show, Castle Rock. It is, of course, the setting of many Stephen King novels where, this mysterious town where evil in some type of form is always lurking in the shadows. I've read a few Stephen King books, but I don't believe I've ever read one where the setting is in Castle Rock, Maine. But this first episode really made me want to start reading a Castle Rock book. So if you have a suggestion, let me know down in the comment section of your favorite Castle Rock one, and I'll be sure to read it. But I'm super excited about this. When I first heard this concept, this idea of this show, I was super intrigued and I was ready to go. I remember vividly when J.J. Abrams, who is the executive producer on this show, J.J. Abrams went on Jimmy Fallon to talk about it. It was like super early development part of the TV show. I don't even think they had casted a lot of people yet, but he basically talked about it, and it was so interesting, and I thought that's a really cool idea to have this great setting in many Stephen King novels, have original characters, have, writers' own spin on a Stephen King theme and, the horrific elements that play in his novels. And also have references of Stephen King characters and actual Stephen King characters in the show itself and mesh it together. I thought that sounds really cool and really interesting because you can get a lot of perspectives from all these different writers and these creative people, and of course the genius himself, Stephen King. So I was really excited, and I remember about that interview specifically because Jimmy Fallon would not shut up during that interview. When he was talking with J.J. Abrams, he would not just let him finish a sentence. And it made me so angry because I just wanted to hear more about Castle Rock. So, like I said, it is the mysterious town. It has all these creepy and horrific elements, looming in the background, looming in its town's history. So I'm really excited for this. It was kind of a spur of the moment. I wasn't planning on reviewing it, but I liked the first episode so much. Hulu dropped the first 3 episodes on July 25th. So me and my brother and my dad are kind of making a thing about this. So we watched the first one yesterday. We're gonna watch the second episode tonight and the third one tomorrow. So kind of go a little slow. But I believe from here on out, every Wednesday, it's just gonna be 1 episode per week, which kind of sucks. But it builds to suspense, and I hope that means they got some crazy things up their sleeve that they don't want to spoil right off the bat. Like I said, I'll be reviewing it. I'm going to have some spoilers, so if you don't want to hear spoilers, get out of this video right now. I'm going to talk about the major plot points and major themes so I don't waste too much of your time, and I'm really excited about this. So I will be reviewing Castle Rock Severance. That is what the episode is called, Severance, and I hope you enjoy it, and let's get right into this. Alright, so the opening scene is classic Stephen King. It's a different time, it's different year. It's 1991. It's in the past, obviously. And we're introduced to our first character, who is a Stephen King character. He's in the novel Needful Things, and he's in The Dark Half. It is none other than Sheriff Alan Pangborn, who his tenure as sheriff is 1981 to 1991. So Castle Rock picks up in 1991. So it looks like he's at the end of being sheriff. And basically he's wandering through this forest. It has all the snow around. He finds a dead deer buried in the snow. He's wandering around. He's looking for something, we don't know what. And finally he sees a young boy on the frozen lake, and he just charges at him, runs for him. He's calling out his name, Henry. And that's how it opens up. We get the Castle Rock title font, and that is the opening scene. So already, we don't know what's going on. We go to present day, 2018, and we see a man who's talking with his wife, his blind wife. Things are going good. He's going to work or some type of event. I forget what. But he does not end up going to that. He says bye to her. He ends up leaving. We find him later in a car, sitting, listening to some music. He's near the edge of a cliff and is just sitting in his car. Maybe he likes the view. Maybe he likes the landscape. I don't know. It's a pleasant day. He's listening to some nice music, whatever to get away. I usually like to read a book. I like to watch TV. That's how I relax. He likes to sit in his car listening to music by a cliff. I don't know. But no, that's not the case. He pulls out a noose from the back of the car, and he has tied it to a tree. And what a horrific way to go. Let's be honest. He wraps it around his neck, floors the car, and drives his car off the cliff, completely ripping his head off. They don't show it, obviously, but we get the picture. What a way to go. That is just awful. Awful stuff. So already Castle Rock, the people of Castle Rock, they have something very horrific on their mind to lead them to want to commit suicide. This man especially. So we find out he is the warden of the Shawshank Prison. I wanted to say Shawshank Redemption. Of course, the prison from Shawshank Redemption, the iconic movie. So he's the warden. Now we need a new warden. So the new warden steps up. It is this lady. I believe her last name's Porter. I think she's Warden Porter now. And she basically is trying to get things back going with the prison, make sure everything's up to date, up to speed. And she finds out that the old warden had taken a section of the prison and completely blocked it off. No prisoners were allowed down there. No guards were allowed down there. It's just totally empty. And she's basically saying, you know, we have all these beds down there. Why would we not use it? So she sends 2 guards to basically investigate it, count the beds, see what's going on down there. And we're introduced to Officer, I believe his name is Zalowiski. And that guy's pretty cool because usually in Stephen King novels and such, anybody with some type of authority are pretty big douchebags. And this guy seemed cool. This guy just seemed like he genuinely cared about people. So he goes with another guard to investigate. The other guard takes a nap. Doesn't even do his job. He's like, you know what, we're down here. I'm taking a nap. So Zalowiski, he has to investigate on his own. And he finds a bunker, this type of hole. Opens it up, and it's dark and gloomy. His ID badge falls down there, so he has to go down there and get it. My wedding ring could have fallen down there, and I would not go down there and get it. It looked so terrifying and scary. I would have to have somebody else to go down with me. He goes down by himself, and what does he find but a man literally locked in a small cage? So we don't know what's going on. How did this man get here? But we're going to get into it in the second half of this video and this review. So, who is this man that they found locked in a cage? They have no records of him. His fingerprints are not in the system. He has not spoken. He does not say his name. They know literally nothing about him and how he got in there, how he was in that cage locked up. Did the old warden keep him down there? Did somebody smuggle him in? Did he find his way in? No one knows how he got in there. So, the new warden is basically going to sweep this under the rug. She doesn't want anyone finding out about this. It's going to be terrible for them. If they have a prisoner, they have no idea how he got in there. It's going to look bad for them. So they want to assess the whole situation, find out about this guy, and then start seeing what they can do with him. But it's bad business for the new warden already. So she doesn't seem like a nice person. She basically asked him, right up to his face, asked him who he is, say something about yourself. Who are you? And he says Henry Deaver. I believe he says Henry Matthew Deaver is his middle name. I think it's Matthew. And that is not Henry Deaver. Henry Deaver is actually the kid from the opening scene, the one that was standing on the frozen lake, that 10-year-old. I believe he was 10. So we learn basically Henry Deaver's history, and he does not have a good past with Castle Rock, as we can already know. So basically what happened when he was on that frozen lake? When he was a kid, for 11 days he went missing. No one could find him. People thought he ran away from home. Just a whole search party went out for him. That Alan Pangborn went out for him. And basically his father ends up dying because I don't know if his father was with him or maybe it was just during the search party, but his father ends up freezing to death because of the cold, bitter winter. He freezes to death, and the town pretty much blames the son. They blame Henry Deaver because when he's finally found, he won't say anything. He doesn't remember anything. He's perfectly fine. He's perfectly okay. He's not cold or anything like that. He shows no signs of trauma or anything toward the cold, bitter snow. He's perfectly fine. So they believe he was in a warm place the entire time and just didn't tell anyone. So they cast him out pretty much. They kind of say it's his fault that his father's dead. His father was a pastor for the town, so I guess they really looked up to this guy. And Henry Deaver is adopted. He's an African American. He has 2 white parents that adopted him. The father is dead, of course, like I said, and we'll get to the mom later. But Henry Deaver, the adult, he is actually in Texas now. He's a defense attorney for people on death row. All his clients are dead. They're all being charged of murder, and they've all gotten the death penalty because of it's Texas. I live there. I get it. So his final client, she's charged with murder. She's found guilty. She's put to death by lethal injection. They kill her. When Henry Deaver is getting her stuff, collecting her stuff, she's still alive. So all these guards rush in. They have to kill her yet again. So he's seen some pretty horrific stuff. So the prison guard that found the prisoner, who was Bill Skarsgård, he plays this guy. He plays Pennywise from the It movie. The one that found him in the cage, he ends up taking matters into his own hands. The warden's not gonna contact Henry Deaver, even though the prisoner is kind of asking for his attorney, since Henry Deaver is an attorney. They're not gonna call him. But so this prison guard takes matters in his own hands. He calls Henry Deaver from the prison and says, this prisoner is asking for you. No one knows who he is. He needs help. He needs your help. You need to get down here. So Henry Deaver is forced to come back to his hometown, the town of Castle Rock, and reopens his past demons and try to figure out what's going on. He asks the warden, he finds the warden, and he's not well liked. This town hates him. Somebody approaches him on the street and says, "Hey, killer." Obviously, he doesn't have a good background, or he doesn't. People don't look at him, highly. So he asks the warden, basically, I need to see my client. She gives him the book of records, and she's basically playing it up as, hey, this was probably a prank. This is kind of a dominant all-white town. Maybe the guards were just pulling a prank on you to get you to fly down here. So he leaves. So he doesn't figure out that the prisoner is there. They're not telling him the prisoner is there. It is a bad situation. It really is. I don't know. I mean, this is just not good for Henry Deaver. So towards the end, his mom suffers from a form of dementia, I guess. She mistakes him this is her adopted son. She mistakes him for an immigration worker. She just thinks he's just a gardener or something. And the sheriff that found Henry at the beginning, lo and behold, he's shacking up with Henry's mom. He's even wearing his dad's clothes. This guy's, come on. What are you doing? So there is obviously some tension there. And because that she has dementia, his mom, Henry, of course, feels like the Alan Pangborn is taking advantage of his mom. And that's not good. That's not good at all. So I hope we get more into that and we figure out, obviously, his past, Henry Deaver's as a child. This Alan, I bet he was shacking up with the mom even before the dad died. I feel like that's probably what's going to happen. But towards the end, Bill Skarsgård's character, the prisoner that no one knows what's going on, they still have him locked up. He's in a cell this time. The prison guard that found him, watching the monitors and making sure everything's going fine and dandy. And what happens? Bill Skarsgård, the prisoner, his gate opens and he walks straight up to the camera, and the cameras all glitch out and such. The guard focuses on other cameras. He switches to other cameras. Prisoners are dead. Guards are dead, bleeding on the freaking floor. There's a just mess of blood all over, and Bill Skarsgård escapes. So we already got our big supernatural character, it looks like. I was hoping Bill Skarsgård is going to be a good character. He just murdered a lot of people, so it does not look like that way. But the ending scene is a flashback, but it's a flashback kind of in the present day. I know that doesn't make sense, but it's 2018 flashback. And the old warden is actually in the bunker with the prisoner who's locked up in the cage. And he tells them, when they find you, you need to say Henry Deaver, Henry Matthew Deaver. That's it. And he walks out, and that is the end to the first episode of Castle Rock. I really enjoyed it. It's getting positive reviews. I wish a lot more people were talking about it. Basically, if I do see bad reviews of it, a lot of people just kind of agree that it's slow. I didn't feel like it was slow, and even if it was, this is a Stephen King themed show. If you've read any of his books or any of his type of characters and such, you're not going to get all the questions answered. You're not going to know what's going on for a while, and I'm okay with that. I like the mystery and the mystique of that. So this episode, like I said, was called Severance. It was Severance, I believe, is breaking off a connection. I believe that's what that's the definition, breaking off a connection or relationship. The warden, he sure broke off a connection when he dove into that pool. So thank you so much for watching. If you watched the episode, I want to hear all your thoughts. I'm hoping to review episode 2. If you guys really like this, let me know, and then I'll know to definitely review it. If nobody watches this, I'll probably just enjoy the show by myself. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments section. Let me know pros, cons, what you liked about the characters, what you think's going on. Please no spoilers on episode 2 or 3. I have not watched it. Thank you so much again for watching, and as always, have a great day.